Our tour takes us from Dresden to the capital Berlin, and then via the commercial city of Rostock to the Isle of Rügen. But our journey starts in Dresden, built on the banks of the River Elbe. We take leave of Dresden on the spot where in 1839 the first long-distance railway was built in Germany. Because of this railway, various industries, for example, the Waldlossen brewery, came here. Nowadays, Dresden is the hub of an extensive railway network in East Germany. The main station dates from 1852. 40 years later, the striking construction of 3 ship-like concourses was built. Germany is well known for its examples of industrial age building, and this train station is considered to be one of the most impressive ones. From this main train station, 480 national and international trains arrive and depart daily. On an average day, 50,000 people are transported. We also get in one of the most comfortable fast trains of the Deutsche Bahn. The next destination on our route is Berlin, the new capital of the unified Germany. As we cross the railway bridge over the Elbe, we enjoy a final glimpse of the center of Dresden. The trip between Dresden and Berlin consists mainly of farmland. But despite the fact that not many people live in the province of Sachsen, there's an extensive railway network. 2,300 kilometers of railway with almost 500 stopping points. The reunification of East and West Germany also had its effect on the German railway company. To stay ahead of the 9 competitive neighboring countries, people had already talked about a renovation of the railways. But just as the plan for the extensive renovation was ready, a huge problem cropped up. Suddenly, because of the German reunification, there were 2 railway companies, and it would not be easy to connect them. One was just about ready with a renovation plan for being run as a profit-making enterprise, while the other was accustomed to being a monopoly managed by the government. A difficult fit. In the end, the European community called for a new organization that must help German railway into the 21st century. For the next 3 years, there will be a large investment in the expansion and modernization of the infrastructure. Within 2 hours, we approach the suburbs of Berlin. The German capital is a huge city. Its total area covers almost 900 square kilometers. Berlin is 9 times the size of Paris. And because Berlin is this big, it will surely take us another 30 minutes to reach the center of Berlin. The railway network is lurching its way through the inner town. Berlin has as many as 6 major train stations. The view of the city makes it clear that there are extensive building projects going on here as well. The designation of Berlin as the capital city of the newly reunited Germany has also given an enormous impulse to construction. Most of the building projects will be finished in 2003. Then they will have invested over 200 billion marks in the new metropolis on the river de Spree. After our first acquaintance with the city, we get out at the train station called Berlin's Zoo. This station is surprisingly situated in the very center of town, near Berlin's famous boulevard, the Kurfürstendamm. The desire to break with the well-known past of Berlin as a divided city is great. In record time, an almost complete new inner city has been built. But a number of reminders of recent history remain. Here and there, sections of the notorious Berlin Wall are still standing. Most of the original 43-kilometer-long wall that went straight through the inner city fell prey to demolition machines and souvenir hunters. But in some places, a section of the wall is still standing. For example, the East Side Gallery at the Mühlenstraße. This section of 1,300 meters is painted on the east side by 111 known and unknown artists. Since 1992, it's a protected historical monument. Berliners also cherish other monuments and famous buildings, like the Altkirche, which is more than 150 years old. The Brandenburg Gate is probably the most famous landmark of Berlin. Another well-known symbol of Berlin is the Gedächtniskirche, the Remembrance Church. This church was once heavily damaged in the Second World War, but was rebuilt around the ruins of the old church. The Potsdamer Platz was, until the fall of the wall, a bare, empty space. Since 1993, it is one of the world's largest building sites. In a few years, it will be unrecognizable. Berlin's status as a world-class city was also enhanced by the transfer of the German government from Bonn to Berlin. Already in the 50s, they'd started the restoration of the Reichstag building. This historic government building was destroyed by a large fire at the beginning of the Second World War. Under the management of architect Norman Foster, they're now finishing the seat of the German government, which in the meantime has settled itself in the new Reichstag building. Since 1982, Berlin houses the German Museum for Transport and Technology. There were always many technical museums in Berlin, but most of them were destroyed in the war. In the Contemporary Museum of Technology, they try to show as many aspects as possible of the means of transportation, in a collection consisting of bicycles, motorcycles, airplanes, and trains throughout the century. The museum has a gigantic collection of locomotives. This part of the museum is built on the grounds of the old Anhalter merchandise station. The whole collection is placed on 34 different rails in the original locomotive depot, complete with turntables. Arranged by year, one can find almost every important model in the 19th and 20th century. One can admire 40 of the old locomotives in their original state. Other models built to scale are placed in showcases between the real locomotives. They're lined up in chronological order in 33 simulated train station situations throughout the years. For the visitors, this is a pleasant way of wandering through the railway history of Germany. Now we return to one of the contemporary train stations of Berlin to find the train that will take us to our next destination. Rostock is also a holiday resort, and therefore the connection between Berlin and Rostock is excellent. In total, Germany has 12,000 kilometers of railway, which is mainly used by the fast trains. Besides that, German Rail strives after making all connections between all large and medium-sized